Hello, my dear Franken friends, and welcome to Spookyou, your one-stop shop for all things ghastly and ghoulish. I'm your host, Barnabas Vixen. How horrible of you to join us. Curl up, invite your friends, and by all means, make sure those lights are out. That way it's harder to tell what may or may not be lurking around you. There's nothing like a good mystery, am I right? Tonight will feature a singular tale of devilish design curated by those wicked weavers of woe. And without further ado, allow me to pass the reins on over to our vivacious voiceover virtuoso, Trey Falco, for tonight's sinister story. Please keep all limbs and side covers at all times. We wouldn't want anything to go missing now, would we? Welcome, new recruits. The message on the monitor displayed before disappearing. A new message replaced it, and the guard and I had to get closer to read what the wall of text said. You've done well so far. You're not far from reaching your goal, but know that your tasks will get harder from here on out, and you will have to work as a team to survive. The door will open in 1 minute. You will see a guardhouse to your left. Enter it and read the note. As soon as we were done reading, the monitor turned off and the electronic door opened with a loud hum. A cold gust of air hit me in the face instantly, and as we stepped through the door, I realized that we were outside in some sort of park. What the fuck? The other guard said. Hey, maybe we can just run for it. I mean, fuck their rules, right? I shook my head. Gotta be a catch. They wouldn't just let us leave. This probably isn't even real. Let's check the guardhouse first. We went inside the guardhouse, which had a desk and chair inside. The note was on top of the desk next to a clock which read, just 5 after midnight. Out of all the rules, there are 3 main rules you need to strictly follow at all times. The first rule is never, ever, and I mean ever, go off the trail. If you do, getting lost will be the least of your troubles. Never stay together for too long, though, because it attracts them more easily to you. That is the second rule. Ending with the first 2 rules, the third rule is this. Whenever the guards reunite, they should use code phrases. Example, Guard 1 asks, "Where does the cat go?" And Guard 2 answers, "To the alley." Note that the code must be recited exactly how the code is agreed upon, word by word. Moving on to the rest of the rules, 1 guard should stay in the guardhouse while the other patrols around the park. Patrols usually take about 10 minutes. For the guard patrolling, under no circumstances is the guard allowed to leave the trail when patrolling. See Rule 1. Turn left at the crossroads and you will come back full circle back at the guardhouse. If you happen to hear the other guard's voice coming from the trees calling for help, ignore it. You will hear his voice on a loop, usually repeating the same phrase with the same intonation over and over. Pay no attention to the sounds of animal life too. If the park suddenly gets quiet, finish your patrol normally, but do not look behind or glance at the trees. During your patrol, every 5 minutes or so, loudly shout a simple word like, "Hello," into the air. If your voice doesn't echo, run back to the guardhouse immediately. Should you see a hiker in the middle of the trail, keep the flashlight pointed at his face at all times. He will ask you to move it away, stating it's too bright, but do not listen to him. He will also tell you he understands your situation and will tell you to follow him since he knows a way out. Decline his offer. After this, he should leave, but do not take the light off of him until he steps off the trail. Now for the guard in the guardhouse. To stay safe, keep the door and window firmly shut at all times, save for when the patrolling guard comes back. It may get annoyingly hot inside, but do not open anything. You may take off your jacket or shirt to alleviate the discomfort. Do not pay attention to any tapping on the windows. If you hear or see droplets falling on the desk in front of you, slowly stand up and leave the guardhouse. Stay outside for around 2 to 3 minutes, and the droplets should be gone when you go back inside. If they are still there, exit again and wait for another 2 to 3 minutes. When the patrolling guard returns, ask him the code question while avoiding eye contact. If he doesn't respond or responds incorrectly, exit the guardhouse while avoiding eye contact and then return inside. The fake guard will be gone. If you survive until 1 a.m., both guards should proceed together to the end of the trail and turn right at the crossroads. Do not do this before 1 a.m. At this point, the forest life will be completely quiet and the only sound surrounding you will be the occasional hurried footsteps coming off the trail. They can only approach you in the dark, so do your best to train your flashlights on them, even if you can't see them clearly. Guards should divide to cover both sides with light. End your task by reaching the end of the trail with a gate. That is your exit point. Make sure to take this note with you because you will need it. Damn it, the other guard said, and we sat in silence for a moment. I scratched my cheek and said, all right, I'll take the first patrol. What do you think our code should be? He thought for a moment and then said, shit, man, I don't know. How about this? I'll ask, what should these fuckers do? And then you say, let us go. All right, you got it. What's your name, by the way? I asked. The guard said that his name was Sam, and I introduced myself as well. I left for the patrol with the flashlight and stuck strictly to the trail. Nothing major happened, no sounds off the trail, etc., but I did run into the hiker mentioned in the note. He seemed friendly and all, but I followed the rules and kept the beam pointed in his face, declining everything he asked. Eventually, he left and I finished my patrol and returned to the guardhouse. After we confirmed the codes, Sam left for his own patrol. I followed this set of rules until he came back, confirming the code with him. By the time I finished my third patrol, it was 1:03 a.m. and it was time to go. We quietly walked the trail, focusing on our footsteps and deafening silence around us, and then the footsteps off the trail started. It sounded like someone was frantically running from one tree to another, stopping for a few seconds in between. This recurred over and over as Sam and I did our best to focus our beams on the source of the sound, but no matter how quick our reactions were, we never seemed to be able to catch whoever ran there. I caught a glimpse of a nude, emaciated man or woman here and there, but they always seemed to be just out of reach, either hiding behind a tree the moment I shone my light or disappearing into the dark altogether. Finally, Sam and I reached the end of the trail and entered a fenced area with a gate on the other side. There was a pedestal in the middle and an object on top of it, and when we approached it, it became clear that it was a gun with a note under it. Sam took the note and read it aloud. It says here to read the first letter of each paragraph of the previous note. We both looked at the note and read the letters silently together. And then as the realization hit us, we scrambled for the gun.
Flynn's Fantastic Arcade and Fun Park. The latest and greatest arcade games, go-karts, terror ball, and the only place this side of the astral plane where you can shoot actual lasers at your best frenemy. And nobody bats an eye. But let me guess, lasers are so last summer, am I right? No worries, you can enjoy lifelike virtual reality with their all-new Master Control integration. It's like opening your eyes for the very first time. Visit your favorite places you never knew existed, the dark depths of the nether dimension, and much, much more. It's the trip of a lifetime. And admission is dirt cheap. Right now, Flynn is sporting a back-to-school special where admission is only the price of one soul. That's right, Tiny Tim. Due to your unwilling sacrifice, the entire family can enjoy 2 hours at Flynn's Fantastic Arcade and Fun Park. Limit 1 per soul, absolutely no refunds. So what are you waiting for? Flynn's Fantastic Arcade and Fun Park, the most tragic place on Earth.
After a moment of wrestling, the gun was in my hand and I held it, pointed at Sam. Look, don't do this, man. I have a wife and young daughter. Please, he begged. I held my finger on the trigger, intermittently looking at him and the gate. I had to get out of here. I've had enough of this bullshit, and I looked at Sam's pleading face one more time. A moment later, I lowered and then dropped the gun on the ground and said, I'm not going to play their game. I won't become a killer for their entertainment. We can find a different way out, I'm sure. I went towards the gate to inspect it and then heard Sam's voice behind me. Look, I'm sorry, man. I turned around and saw him pointing the gun at me. What are you doing, Sam? You read the note, man. One must die. There's no other way. Put the gun down, damn it. We can both make it out of here alive. We just have to work together. I didn't believe my own words, but I'd be damned if I'd murder another human being for the sick bastard's entertainment. Look, I'm sorry, I have to get back to my family, Sam said. Sam? No! Sam! He pulled the trigger, but the bang never came. Instead, there was a click and Sam dropped the gun, holding his hand in pain. What the fuck? Something just pricked me! Sam shouted. He and I stared at each other, and then all of a sudden, Sam's eyes rolled behind his eyelids and he fell to the ground, convulsing and frothing at the mouth. I ran over to help him, but honestly, I didn't know what to do. And then he stopped moving completely a moment later, and his eyes closed as his breathing stopped, along with his movement. I shook him and I called his name, but it was too late. He was already dead. Just then, the gate started to open.
Welcome back, my darling deviants. Well, tell me, did you enjoy that twisted tale? Of course you did. I knew you had that air about you, that hunger for the horrific and the macabre. So, did we spook you? If not, then file a complaint with our complaint department detailing all accounts of non-spookiness you found in this video, and we'll get back to you in 2 to 3 millennia. Give or take a business eon or two. However, if you've enjoyed what you've just heard this evening, then make sure you leave a like on this video and annihilate that subscribe button. Such a small act of obedience is exactly what we need to put the food on the table around here. There's only so many days we can have refried kidney and toe jam hash before I'm absolutely sick of it. Spoiler alert, that ship sailed long ago. Now, I must bid you adieu. I've many things to take care of, and this outro is eating into my day off. Run along now. Have no fear, we'll be here every Tuesday and Thursday to bring you another terrible tale. Go forth, my ghastly gang, and stay spooky.